Thank you for joining us with Women Have Needs Too by LindaQ. We are a company that is set to inspire and empower women on a daily basis through all our channels. Today we are talking with Chelsea Pierre, the founder and CEO of BLT, Blerds Leading Technology. Thank you for joining us today, Chelsea. I really appreciate you being here. Chelsea is a Florida resident by way of Louisiana, and she specializes in network and hyper security. Joining the United States Air Force at 21 years of age, she was introduced to the IT field as a career and grew to love all things tech. And let me tell you, she is a techie. Through the years, she has participated in multiple tech and business organizations and in several cities, and we will learn more about that, as well as her new company, BLT, Blerds Leading Technology. First of all, I want to thank you, Chelsea, for your service. At one time I did want to join the service, but at that time it was college time, and I was going to go to college first and then go.
Yep.
Broke up with a boyfriend. I thought, oh, I've got to go now. And then the next time I thought about doing it was when I was 40, and I realized, or 40 something, and I realized I was too old. They wouldn't take me. I know. I know. Still 40 and moving on. Anyway, I just want to thank you for your service. So you say that you grew to fall in love with technology. How did that happen? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Um, Again, thank you for allowing me to join. Well, I did not like all things tech.
No, you didn't start out that way?
No. I was a typical average person of why is my computer not working? What is this Wi-Fi that's not having signal, just called Wi-Fi, right? And
Right.
I was typical.
I used to call it Wi-Fi too.
Right. I have a cell phone. The cell phone is for calling. Why do I have all these apps? Why does it have to be fancy? Like I was a typical standard, just regular person.
Yeah.
I was even against cell phones because, I was born before cell phones was made. So I'm like, so I have to carry this everywhere? Like, what is the point, right?
So true.
But now, so when I joined the Air Force, enlisted, so with the ASVAB scored me into technology. And I was shocked. No, I told the recruiter, I said, is there any other position that I scored high in? Because I'm not a techie type of person. And so he said, we could do security forces. I said, I'm not a cop type of person neither. So as most recruiters, take it or leave it, right?
Right.
And so got into it. What I realized, I grew to love it. I grew to have a niche. I understood, I picked up on different areas fast, and I said, you know what? I have wasted my time running from these cables. And
Right.
this is my career that I should have picked up. So I did grow to love it.
That's funny. That's good. So you are an left brain analytical person, it sounds like to me.
Yes. So, well, I'm more right brain. I'm more creative. And so I take in IT, instead of a whole bunch all day ones and zeros, I do the creative side of it, and that's the part that I enjoy. Of what can I do? Where can it go? How can it expand? How can I attack this? How can I protect this? I'm able to let my imagination run wild. Right.
That's very cool. So that's good, because a lot of, should I say, techies, and maybe I'm generalizing, but they seem like
And they are a lot of them lack
very analytical and very sometimes dry, and you're not dry at all.
Yeah, a lot of them lack social skills, and we have to take courses and
take
yeah,
courses in social skills.
we do. There's certifications on how we need to speak and manage and handle things. So yeah,
I think in today's day and age, with kids practically being born with technology in their hand, you're going to have less of those left brain people going towards technology, and more of, just everybody. They're learning it from the get-go. It's just another way of life. You know, I grew up with a phone that was attached to the wall, and to get privacy, we'd take that long cord and wrap it around to the other room and close the door. Well, we don't have any cords anymore, thank goodness. But so, so, so you got into technology because that's what they told you you were going to be good at.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets?
No, none at all. My
Good.
mother, she actually wanted me to go into pharmacist. Since the rest of my family, from my great grandmother, my mother, my sisters, everyone is in the health field. So
Oh,
my mom was like, "Hey, you enjoy math? How about you get into pharmacy?" And I said, "Oh well, let's follow the rest of the family tree." And so before I joined, I went to community college, and I was trying to get my prerequisites done so I can go to a 4-year college to do pharmaceutical. But I realized, why am I sitting here in this community college? I could probably be working or doing something more. And all of my friends that joined the Army and Navy, they was riding in cool cars and nice clothes, and I'm just starving college student.
right.
So, and then, by the way, and it was odd because I graduated second in my class. And so everyone,
you.
if you're the salutatorian or valedictorian, everyone's like, "What is she doing?" I'm starving in community college because I actually received I was supposed to go to Xavier University in New Orleans. I received the accepted academic scholarship, but 2006 is when Katrina hit. So community college, starving college student. And so that's when I joined the Air Force at 21.
That's great. You accomplished a lot at a young age.
Yeah, I was trying to.
So you joined the military because it gave you the opportunity to eat on a regular basis.
Yes, it was more well, it was more stable. My friends, they looked at more healthier and different things. So as far as the word regret, I don't regret it, but I wonder how I would be in the health field as a pharmacist or a white coat is what I call these doctors.
Right, interesting. Well, you're young, you can still do it.
Right.
You can do everything. But it's good to have focus. And you seem like a really focused individual. Uh, so you did the military. How long were you in the military? Which branch were you in?
Air Force.
Air Force? Very good. My father was in the Air Force too. He went on the GI Bill, and just so he could help pay for his college, you know? Um, so after the military, how long were you in?
6 years.
6 years, okay. So after the military, you gained all this knowledge and thought, I'm going to go start my own company. Is that what happened?
No.
No?
No, I actually finished my degree because I got out, and at the time I got out, I had 2 daughters, and they were, I don't know how old they was. I don't know, maybe 2 when I got out. It was pretty young. They was toddlers when I got out.
Beautiful.
So no, nobody's thinking about investing in a business. At least I wasn't. I was trying to, okay, I got out, want to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
I picked up an internship through Troy University. That's where I received my degree. So as I was finishing my degree, I was working a job, finishing my degree, single mother, trying to make ends meet and grow into IT. It wasn't until later, within a couple of years of being in the IT field, that I realized, hey, we need a company. There is some gaps in this industry that I could resolve and other people could resolve. So that was maturity and years later, right?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, maturity years later, is that what you said?
Yes.
So let's talk about the gaps. What were the gaps?
Oh, well, so there is, I call them tiers, right?
Tiers?
The gaps. Tiers. There are tiers.
TIERS, yeah.
And so, as a universal industry, the finance and purchasing, the ability to purchase certifications to get the skills you need or to get a job is expensive. The idea of buying the training or the home labs or the virtual labs to be able to type in code or program or build whatever industry that you're in, that's expensive as well. Excelling in the IT field, do not let nobody tell you otherwise, become expensive the higher that you are trying to grow. Now, that is universal. Now, when we get into the underrepresented aspect of it, like women and minorities and foreigners and those underrepresented groups in the IT field that you don't really see too many of. Those options and filling those gaps and having the opportunities to gain what you need is shrunk even smaller. So it is, you either have the money or in a very good company that will pay for your training, pay for your certifications, give you the option and have the hierarchy for you to be able to elevate in your field. But most of them don't, right?
So
Most of them. Mhm.
why is it different for the minorities than the rest of the people?
Well, I would say it's better now, but when I was during the time I was coming in, there was not as many organizations. There was not as many nonprofits. There was not as many organizations focused on bringing women into tech or bringing minorities into tech, right? And especially when I was joining, just me having dreads in my head would have been unprofessional and most likely would have been frowned on, and I would not be hired. Or my name could, of course, their names are still a bias aspect in looking at resumes and a hiring process. And I mean, to sum it up, people are used to, and it's human nature, people are used to what they are used to. By the time I joined, when we talked about IT, we thought of a white male or a Caucasian male doing networking program, probably somebody chubby with a snicker or somebody skinny with a white cap or, coffee,
You're profiling, Chelsea. You're
right.
profiling.
Exactly. But it's not necessarily profile. That is the image. And I mean,
No, I know.
but even the movies, even Hollywood create this profile of what the average tech person looks like.
Right.
So you have the movies creating this profile, Hollywood creating this profile, people that's actually in the industry, and this is all that they see. So when someone comes new and the unknown is naturally scary for us unless we're taught otherwise.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is key. And I just had this conversation with someone yesterday. The unknown. The unknown. Somebody was saying, well, I'm afraid, I'm not afraid of a black man walking down the street. But at one time maybe I was. But I'm not now. I used to be afraid of somebody with a bunch of tattoos and earrings all over themselves. But in the last 10 years, it's become more prevalent, and I've gotten to know a lot more people with tattoos and earrings and realize they're normal people too. They just have different ideas about decorating their body.
Yes.
I decorate mine with lipstick, and some of them decorate their. So I learned that, people are people no matter how they look. We do have the gender gap. We do have the racial gap. And I feel like racism, and this show is not about racism. Let's just make the audience clear right now. This show is not about racism at all. It's about technology, and it's about Chelsea and the gap that she is filling, the tear that she is filling in the community and nationally. So we will get back to that. But I did want to address this today. But we'll keep on going. I'm sorry for interrupting you. But you're right. It's the unknown. So when people see you walking down the street, you're saying that they think that you work at McDonald's and not necessarily that you own a tech company. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
I went to Costco's. I went to Costco's last week. And again, I have a house, I have kids. They're 10. They have an appetite as teenagers. So I'm buying in bulk. And there was this guy, and he came up to me, and he said, "Hey, I see you." Now, all of us in line. I'm the only person, I guess, of color that was in that line at that time. I don't know, the stars lined up. Right. But he came to me and said, "Hey, I see you buying a lot of bundles of food. Do you have a party, or are you an executive of a company? I just see a large purchase that you're making." I'm looking around like,
Is he talking to me?
Yeah, cause well, I'm looking around like it's pretty much the same as everyone else. Like you typically don't go to Costco's or Sam's, and well, some people buy one thing, but you understand, right? And
I
so
do.
I told him, I said, well, honestly, yes, I am an executive of a company, but I'm buying this amount as everyone else to feed my family. You know, so but the thing, he didn't ask anyone else. He came to me directly, and that's not saying nothing about it, but it's interesting because
Yeah.
you pass all of these people and come to the other end and then come this way. But what you're saying is right. Before I joined the Air Force, I have not spoke to um, any Mexican origin person. And so I finally met a Mexican, female Mexican that was in my group, or I forgot what they call this,
Class?
squadron. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I didn't say anything to her because I never spoke to a Mexican before. I didn't know. I just knew all of the racial slurs. So we had a very good TI, and he said, "Hey, y'all women, y'all have to pass the boot camp, this and other, get to know each other. I'm gonna step outside." So we spoke because I've seen a lot of Caucasians and other races, Puerto Ricans. I just never spoke to a Mexican.
Right.
And so they're all talking. So she spoke to me and she says, "Hey, I see you asked everyone the question, but you didn't ask me anything." I'm like, the questions I want to ask is ignorant, but I do have questions, but I don't know if you feel offended. And she was like, "No, it's open floor." And so I asked her, why do they call her these racial slurs? What does these racial slurs mean? And I just said it because I didn't know. And we just had a very open conversation. And she told me, and
That's
I'm
great.
like, well, that's stupid to be called that. But it I was able to meet for the first time, speak, understand where it comes from, understand why people talk to them like that, or society has this, crossing the border conflict. I was able to understand, and I
Right.
became comfortable talking and working with more.
That's good. It's always good to approach the unknown to get over that fear, you know? Let's get rid of the fear. Speaking of fear, did you ever, when you started this company, because you saw the gap and you decided, I'm going to start this company, did you ever have a fear of failure?
No.
Really?
That's interesting.
That's a
No.
good thing.
But I didn't have a goal of success neither. My movement was more of a movement. I don't think I created the company in the idea of uh, succeeding or financial gain. If anything, I created the company in hopes to excel. That's why one of my slogans, accelerating the movement of diversity and inclusion in IT. So
Beautiful.
I see the organization, I see people pushing it, but I'm just trying to excel it and create a more faster paced movement. So that's really what I wanted to do. So it's not necessarily a fail because it's needed, but to say, wake up one day and say, "Hey, you have a multi-million-dollar or billion-dollar company or idea," it hasn't crossed my mind. I'm creating a foundation. So to create awareness and to help those who want to be helped. If my company is open for 20 years and all I help is 3 people, and one of those people grow to create a Fortune 500 company, then I did my job.
I think that's one of the things that attracted me to you, Chelsea, is because I saw that in you, is that it's not about, success to you is not about becoming a millionaire, owning this tech company and an executive of this tech company but it's about helping people. And I appreciate that much about you. And I'm going to step back a second and we're going to talk about Blerds. Because the day I met you, and not Naomi, Naisha.
Naisha.
The day I met you and Naisha, and she told me she was a Blerd. I'm like, a Blerd? What's a Blerd? And she said,
Right.
blacks in technology. And I'm like, or black nerds, right? Black nerds. And I'm like, that's a thing? She said, oh yeah, it's a thing. So Blerds, do you know who created that term?
This term, this term was created before I was even born. And typically, it was.
How come I never knew of it?
Well, yeah, typically it's more in a Comic-Con direction and those like hackathon and
Okay.
animes and
Right.
those fields. Hey, I'm a blerd. I like rocket ships and animes and hackathon. And,
Got
and
it.
so it's more off corporate and more directed. I was seeing somebody in that area
Right.
created it because it's popular in that direction.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for clearing that up because I'm like, I am way behind the time because I did not ever hear that before. So, Blacks Leading Technology, and you're filling the gaps. You are giving to me, you're giving back to the community that needs it at a cost because it's not a nonprofit organization. You're actually in this to make money, so good for you. Understood. But let's talk about the Blacks Leading Technology because you're filling the gaps not necessarily just for blacks, but minorities in general. But let me ask you this: what if you see a white student, a white person that needs your help? What happens then? Do you send them another direction, or is that somebody you take in?
No. It's focused on minorities, but it's not inclusive to that direction. No, because at the end of the day, like I would like to reach out to all of the HBCU colleges, but I could reach out to the PWIs.
What are PWIs?
Primarily white institutions.
Oh my gosh,
So
you're teaching me so much today, Chelsea.
HBCUs is hysterical black colleges and universities. PWI. HBCUs is historical black colleges and universities.
Okay.
And then we have PWIs, primarily white institutions. And that's actually a corporate term. This is not slang. These are two realistic abbreviations.
I have so much to learn. Thank goodness I'm not dying soon because I can't wait to keep learning.
But no, I would because it is the mission is to help inform, educate. So when I do receive members, I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
Whenever they buy a package, it's not like, here's the resources. No, I try to either me, myself, or have somebody else that I work with contact them and understand and emphasize, what they are going through and
Right.
really like get to the bulk of it. So if there was a Caucasian and say, hey, I need your services, I don't see you nowhere else, I can afford this. Great. Let me give you a background of why we have created so you can understand what is going on. And here you go. Because you don't know, that person may have minority friends or LBGT friends or, any underrepresented friends. You really don't know because
right.
with that, they're going to tell somebody else. It's going to tell somebody else. But the name is Blerds Lean Technology. They'll tell their friend, well, what is a blerd? I think it's a black nerd. Well, that's interesting. So you're gonna, may ask, somebody a minority. What is blerd? So the name will always sell to its focus, but
right.
We're here to help.
So let's talk about your business because it's about that time. So let's talk about what your business is all about, what you do, who you serve, and how you go about the different channels of your business.
Sure, no problem.
To reach those people that need your help.
Yeah. So let's discuss what I provide. So my company has two focuses. One is the technology side. With my package, let's say you get my highest package, I am providing certification vouchers for whatever certification you want, e-learning, training, courses, module unlimited, IT career consultant, resume editing. And I have people that I partner with that would do that is their field, that is their baby that they do. So I have professionals actually speaking to you and guiding you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I also provide vouchers and for conferences. If you want to go to a conference, if the conference is posted on my page, depending on the package that you bought, I will give you a ticket to join that tech conference. I created meetup groups, and I'm trying to expand the number of meetup groups that I have. So whenever COVID ends, I could have local activities and trainings and things there that you could go to the meetup groups. The events is there to go to. So what I'm doing is giving you everything that can be a potential financial burden for you through my package just by becoming a member on a monthly basis. And on the other side, I help my entrepreneurs. And so with my entrepreneurs, we're becoming a member, and you could pick, it's all inclusive in one package, the tech stuff and the business stuff. I have a IT business consultant, very awesome person. And so, and those actually are expensive if you really look at it. So that's included in the package, as well as I have venture capitalists that I partner with. So not only will you talk to my business consultant and understand the business, he will lead you down the right path. He will actually prepare you to talk to my venture capitalist. I have spoken to my venture capitalist. If my venture capitalist does not accept your business, they have to inform me and give me some type of writing of why they did not fund your business. So not only does it let me know that they understand, like, hey, there's a shortage of underrepresented businesses, why are you not accepting it? Right, I will be able to tell my business consultant can give you the feedback or help you understand the feedback from the VC so that you could try again. And so what I'm doing, I'm trying to have multiple VCs so it could kind of be like Shark Tank in a way, to where you send your business and you can have the best option that you prefer that will fit where you're trying to go. So I provide all of that to help an individual go, especially to someone in tech that's trying to create a tech business one day in the future.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we did some talking about getting into some colleges and universities and providing the program to them.
Yeah. So that is the package. Glad keep me on track. So that is the package. So what I am doing, as well as holding this event with you speaking, I speak at conferences and I give people my LinkedIn information, my email address, the website address, and try to market it like that. I am currently reaching out to different universities, and I'm creating a subsidized package for the computer science majors or the equivalent, their students, to help them, because the issue is a lot of students like myself are graduating with a degree. So they graduate with a degree with soft skills, not so much technical skills, and they are sending them to apply for jobs where other technicians that did not have a college degree may have went to a trade school or tech school and got all the certifications. And you're competing with people that actually had hands-on training. So to help you become more competitive, I'm giving you the hands-on training and certification vouchers and a IT career consultant and a resume editor. So when you do graduate with your degree, you have everything that you need to go in front of whatever job that you want and be as competitive as possible. And so along with that, I'm trying to reach to the STEM schools. I have some robotics and coding classes to get into the STEM schools to focus on the kids. So it is where most companies have what they're selling and they just make it broad. I have broad areas and I'm shrinking it down, the resources that I have, and shooting it to different industries and businesses.
Beautiful. Now, when do you sleep? Because you sent me an email at 4:15 this morning.
I don't. I don't sleep. Nobody told me.
You are a woman on a mission.
Nobody told me that opening a business was time consuming. They told me it can be expensive. They told me make sure you have money saved. But again, just like with kids, when, they said, hey, when you have kids are expensive, and nobody told me how time consuming. So again, the world has failed me again with this business. So I don't get any sleep.
I know I don't even know how we're doing on time, but during one of our conversations, you said to me, I never had a mentor growing up. You never had somebody giving you direction. What what was your childhood like?
My childhood,
Yeah.
uh, my childhood was all I knew was working. Again, my mom, she picked up a lot of shifts in the hospital. So we didn't have holidays.
Yeah.
She was always at work. My dad, he would work often. He used to work at warehouses at the time until he became sick. So he became sick. We barely seen him. He barely spoke to us. It was as if there was no father in the house, but he was physically there, but he was in the room.
Right.
Made him upset and he fussed at us. We
Yeah.
rarely spoke to him. So it,
You grew up pretty independent, it sounds like.
yeah, pretty independent, lack of, I guess, bond, if that makes sense. All I know is work, 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 figure it out yourself.
Right.
So, and that's all that I knew. And I guess still to this day, that's the world that I see.
Well, that's where you come from. That's what you know. That's your known, factor. We're going to wrap it up, but I would like to have you speak just for briefly about speak to the young women out there, or even women my age. With COVID hitting, there are a lot of people of all ages and all backgrounds having to start over again, and they don't know what they're doing or where they're going to go or what what they're going to do. What advice do you have for them to empower them and inspire them to get on that road?
Sure. So it's two pieces of advice. One, COVID-19 is a tragic event, and I understand the loss. But the thin lining is that not only is it hitting individuals, it's hitting your competitions, which are larger companies. So if you really want to uproot or upstart your company while your competitions are down and struggling, this would be the perfect time to get a head start on the race. So I would say that's why I decided to do it in the midst of this storm that's going on.
That's great.
So so remember that, right? It's not just hitting you, it's hitting your competition.
I love it. That's a very interesting aspect. Go ahead.
The second thing, what I learned is there is always going to be a fork in the road at some point when creating a business or going into a new career. It's going to be a fork in the road. And that fork in the road is titled, do you really believe in what you're trying to do? Or do you really have the faith that you could excel in what you're trying to do? So you can either take this road and go back to what you're used to, that comfort, that comfortability, that don't want to say complacency, but that this is what I know, because it's going to come. Or do you want to leap out on faith and like, you know what? I believe in my dreams enough. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to just run with it. And when I run with it, it's no turning back. So I have to keep pushing. And that fork in the road will come at different stages. And at that point, you might not never get that fork in the road again. I personally believe that it doesn't come twice. That's my belief. Some people believe that there's ample amount of opportunities, but that major fork, that take it or leave it, you can't turn back after you make a decision. It's when it comes, you need to be ready and believe that you can do it despite the odds. The finances are not there. If you have to sacrifice what you can, but you know that I'm gonna just keep running until something happens, then go for it. If you don't want to take that risk, because it is a risk, then be comfortable in your decision. Like, I'm not ready for that risk. And nobody, would judge you or blame you, but be ready when that fork comes.
I love it. I love it. Something that came very clear to me in the last several months is when you focus on something, it's amazing how things start to shift and align the way you want them to. But it really does require that focus. So, well, I want to thank you so much today, Chelsea, for sharing your dream with us and your business with us, your background, and you are an inspiration to many women and individuals. Not just women. I think you're an inspiration for anybody who wants to get on in life and make something happen. And I really appreciate your time today. And again, I appreciate your service. Thank you so much. And tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, okay. So you can, it's probably easier to typically chat this, but you can find me on LinkedIn. It's LinkedIn.com, right? /Chelsea /Pierre. I can give you that information if you want to post it.
Yep.
And you could reach me on my website. My email, my business line is on my website, and that is www.blerdsleadingtechnology.com. As soon as you get on, see contact, it has my business phone. It has a form you can fill out if you want to contact me directly, or you can send an email. I'm there. I will respond. So yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, audience. I hope you've been inspired and empowered to go out and make things happen today. Thank you, Chelsea, and have a great day, okay? See you soon.